My name is Jasmine Whittaker. I'm 75 years old, and I have photographed 11 Easter I was never truly in. This year, my family didn't even hand me the camera. They took the picture at 10:00 and told me to come at 11:00. I found out from the pastel sweaters. Everyone matched. Nobody had mentioned a color. I set my deviled eggs on the counter and smiled because smiling was my job in that house. But this year, a stranger's comment under my daughter's Instagram post was about to crack my family open. And the message a retired nurse sent me at midnight, I still keep a copy of it in a locked drawer. What she knew about me, my own daughter, had spent decades burying. Welcome back to Hidden Truth Revenge, where family secrets come to light and quiet women find their voice. Every week we share stories about the moment a woman stops asking for a seat at the table and builds her own. If stories like this one speak to you, drop a comment below. Easter at my children's house ran on a schedule I was never given. I arrived at 11 with my tray of deviled eggs and found the whole family already posed and finished. My daughter Lily was on the porch, the good tablecloth ironed flat. My daughter Brianna was still holding the photographer's invoice. "You're here, perfect timing." "The light got weird anyway," she said, which was her way of saying the picture was done. I know how this sounds. You're wondering why a 75-year-old woman kept showing up. Here's the honest answer. My mother-in-law, Ruth, has Parkinson's. I'm the one who coordinates every specialist, every prescription, every fall. You don't get to quit people who need your hands, even when they only invite the rest of you at 11. So I did what I always did. I refilled glasses. I helped in the kitchen. I apologized to my sister-in-law for a draft I didn't cause. By 8 that night, I was home, scrubbing egg yolk off a tray when Brianna posted the photo. Pastel sweaters, white chairs, the caption, "The whole family together." I counted heads. 17 people. Every cousin twice removed made that photograph. I stared at it longer than I should have, and I was about to close the app when a new comment appeared from an account with a white lily for a profile picture. "Where's the girl from the hospital?" I read it twice. My thumb went cold. I refreshed the page. The comment was gone. The whole post was gone. 17 pastel people vanished. From comment to deletion took about 40 seconds, which meant somebody in that house had been watching that post like a monitor in an ICU. I called my daughter because pretending not to know things is a skill I never mastered. "Sweet of you to call," she said. I asked why she took the photo down. There was a pause with furniture in it. "The lighting was unflattering to your grandmother. My daughter has explained away decades of things with lighting." I mentioned the strange comment about a hospital. The silence that came back was different. It wasn't empty. It was load-bearing. "Some pictures aren't for everyone," she said. Then she hung up. Here's what I knew about my daughter Lorraine. She kept photo albums organized by year. She ironed sweaters. People like that don't delete a photograph in 40 seconds unless something is chasing them. At 11:47 that night, my phone lit up with a message from a woman named Carol W. "I was your nurse 20 years ago. Your family told us you died at birth. I just saw you on Instagram. I have something you need to see." I read it 5 times. My first reaction wasn't fear. I'm a retired nurse. My hands stay steady. The person was real, which made the words worse. I didn't sleep. I lay in bed doing inventory on my life, holding each memory up to the light. I had spent time at St. Bridget's when I was younger. Around our church for years afterward, that's what I was. The girl from the hospital. I'd always thought that chapter was closed. Apparently, someone had just found a page I'd never been allowed to read. Tuesday, I drove to my children's house while my daughter was at her meeting. I told my mother-in-law Ruth I wanted to pull some old photos. The album for my year felt wrong in my hands. Too light. Inside, pages were torn out where spring should have been. A whole season amputated. Grandma Ruth looked at the album and her face opened with grief. She looked straight at me and said something that shook 75 years. That night I answered Carol Wetzel. She wouldn't put everything in writing. Some things you say to a person's face. We agreed to meet in Toledo. "Bring your birth certificate," she wrote. Grandma Ruth's dinner came. I watched the geography of the table, my place at the corner by the kitchen door. The seat that gets bumped. Brianna tilted the phone away when taking a picture. Careful, some pictures aren't for everyone. The table laughed. My son-in-law didn't laugh. He looked down at his plate. That was the moment I stopped explaining things away. This wasn't forgetfulness. It was policy. Carol Wetzel was a small woman with gardener's hands and nurse's eyes. She laid photocopies in front of me. A fetal death record. Baby girl, April 12th. Mother Lorraine. Then a maternity ward log. A young patient delivered a healthy girl, discharged to family. The signature was Ruth's. The hospital had you dead, Carol said gently. And there you were asking questions. I gave myself days to become a person who could sit across from my daughter. I waited until we were drying dishes. I mentioned the torn pages and Grandma calling me by another name. My daughter folded the towel and said it was a mistake. Some people are a lesson, not a relative. Grief is a door you close. We replace what we lose in this family. Sunday dinner was a tribunal. My daughter said pleasantly, "Yes, you're adopted." Kinship adoption. We saved you. Is that what you drove to hear? A half-truth offered whole. My son-in-law said let it rest. I stood in St. Bridget's Parish Cemetery in the infant row. There it was. My name on a grave. Phoebe Ann Mercer. The granite was colder than any patient I had ever cared for. Somebody had been keeping a dead child neat for decades while cropping a living one out of photographs. I knelt and put my hand on the carved letters. Recognition. Like the reflection had been walking there my whole life. The question was no longer who I was. The question was what I had been brought home to be, a daughter or a replacement part. I met June. The woman in the hospice bed. My eyes, my blood. She had come back to die close to me. She had counted my birthdays in stitches on a quilt, 28 rows. She had tried to reach me with cards that were always returned. No such person. Over the days, she gave me the truth. She had refused to sign. They outlasted her. They replaced what they lost. My son-in-law came to the hospice. He admitted the truth. They had buried one daughter and replaced her. He had chosen peace over truth. June died with my hand in hers under that quilt of 28 birthdays. I was there. I called her Mom. I changed my name. I kept Mercer. I started visiting the grave with flowers. The family machine kept running. But my son-in-law comes every week now. We talk. We fix things. My daughter sends signals from a distance. I answer politely. Some corrections you file only with yourself. This past Easter, we set a table at the hospice. Everyone was in the pictures, wheelchairs, IV poles, all of it. I was in every picture anyone took of me. If this story stayed with you, the grave with my name, the birthdays counted in stitches, the door that finally closed, share it with someone who's still standing outside the frame. Some pictures aren't for everyone, but some truths are for you alone, and when you finally see them, you stop smiling just to keep the peace. You start living for yourself. Thank you for watching Hidden Truth Revenge. What would you have done if your family had buried one child and replaced her with you? Drop your thoughts below. All characters, conflicts, and events are fictional and created only for entertainment and educational purposes. We hope it reminds you that blood does not create unlimited access, and you are allowed to step out of the frame.